Hard work does not make you rich. Leverage does. So what is leverage? Leverage is anything that multiplies your output. Let's look at the math. Your input is equals work done per unit time. Time is the duration that you put that work. Output are the results achieved. So your output without leverage is input times time. With constant leverage, the work you achieve is input times time times the constant leverage. With compounding leverage, the work achieved is compounding leverage times input times time. Here's a graph that shows the impact of leverage on output. The orange line shows output that occurs when you have compounding leverage. The green line shows output that occurs when you have constant leverage. And the blue line shows output that occurs when you have no leverage. Let's look at an example of leverage at work. Imagine a chef, let's call him Ombachi Dan. Ombachi Dan can cook 3 meals a day. How long will it take 10 Ombachis to cook for 100 people traveling at the speed of light? Okay, the only joke, but yeah. Being alone, Ombachi can cook for at most several hundreds of people in a day. Now let's see what happens when we put leverage into the equation. To make it simpler, let's say Ombachi can cook for 100 people a day. Let's define some terms so that we're on the same page going forward. Input is the work that Ombachi does. Time is the duration that work was put in. Output are the results achieved. So without leverage, input times time produces value for 100 people. With constant leverage, input times time times the constant leverage produces value for 100 people times the constant leverage. With compounding leverage, the input times time times the compounding leverage produces value for n people compounding, meaning that the value keeps on compounding even after the value has been created. The value has its own life and it keeps on compounding. So without leverage, working for 1 day, Ombachi can provide value for 100 people. With constant leverage, working for 1 day, Ombachi can provide value for 100 people times constant L. Constant leverage means that the leverage does not change. For example, if Ombachi got a friend to help him, let's assume the friend can cook for 100 people a day too. The output will be creating value for 100 times 2 people a day. This is 200 people. This is a simplification, but it drives the point home. This is Chef Ombachi and a friend providing value with constant leverage to 200 people. Both can cook for 100 people alone. Together, they can provide value for 200 people. With constant leverage, the output increases with the leverage increase, and the leverage does not increase and compound on its own. Meaning, without leverage increase, the output will not increase on its own. It will not compound. Now let's see Chef Ombachi alone providing value using leverage that compounds. Because media has zero cost of replication, Ombachi can now provide value to millions of people without any increase in output. The only input he's putting is creating the video once. If the video provides value to 1 million or 10 million viewers, there is no extra effort on his side. Code and media are multiplying his output. The more people watch his videos, the more likely other people are to discover them and watch them too. This means that the videos keep on getting more views even when he's not creating new ones. It's like a snowball effect that keeps growing. The output compounds on its own without any additional input. There are 4 types of leverage: money, labor, code, and media. Money and labor are permission leverage, meaning you need someone to give them to you. Code and media are permissionless, meaning you do not need anyone's permission to use them. They are freely available to anyone willing to leverage them. And on top of that, code and media usually have a zero cost of replication. This means that code and media, once produced, can be replicated to millions or even billions of people with no additional cost of production, making them a really powerful form of leverage. The best things in life are really free, or in this case, permissionless. So, great one. What must you do? Please guide us. Please show us the way. Please show us the light. Sawa, since you've asked nicely. To loosely quote Naval, first figure out the best thing you can work on, then strive to work with the best people you can work with. After that, work as hard as you can. What you do, who you do it with, and how you do it are way more important than how hard you work. Naval Ravikant.
If getting wealthy is your goal, you are going to have to work as hard as you can. But hard work is absolutely no substitute for who you work with and what you work on. What you work on is probably the most important thing. Finding product market founder fit. To expand on Mark Andreessen's definition, he came up with product market fit, but I would add product market founder fit, which is how well you are personally suited to that business. The combination of that 3, that should be your overwhelming goal. And you can save yourself a lot of time if you pick the right area to work in. Picking the right people to work with is the next most important piece. And then third comes how hard you work. But they're like 3 legs of a stool. If you shortchange on any one of them, the whole stool is going to fall down. So it's not like you can pick one over the other that easily. So the order of operations when you're building a business is, or even building your career, is first figure out what should I be doing? What is something where there is a market that is emerging? There's a product that I can build that I'm excited to work on, and something where I have specific knowledge and I'm really into it. And then second, surround yourself with the best people possible. And no matter how high your bar is, raise your bar, because you can never be working with other people who are great enough. If there's someone greater out there to work with, you should go work with them. I advise a lot of people who are looking at which startup to join in Silicon Valley. I say basically pick the one that's going to have the best alumni network for you in the future. Look at the PayPal mafia. They work with a bunch of geniuses, so they all got rich. So just try and pick based on the highest intelligence, energy, and integrity people that you can find. And then finally, once you've picked the right thing to work on and the right people to work with, then you work as hard as you can.